All right, let's get things started, guys. Let's bring that music down. Welcome everyone, welcome to Tuesday's live stream for this week. Let's make sure my audio is working perfectly fine. All right, perfect. All right, well, I just want to briefly just go over something interesting tonight, and that is BITO as seen on the title and in the description box, right? Like I always say, guys, look in the description box down below. First, read that first, and then, you know, look at the title as well, right? And the reason why I say that is that, well, some people just come into the stream and they don't really know what's going on, and they have no idea what I'm talking about, or they have questions that I've basically gone over in the description box. Obviously, not into full detail, but you know, from a general standpoint, it should answer your question. So make sure you guys are always reading the description box first before you know, listen to me basically. Okay, so let's wait a couple of minutes here and let people come in. Hey, what's up, guys? Hello, hello. Oh, I just didn't even, I just took a look at the likes, and we're at what? Is it 8 likes? I think. This is correct? Yeah, 8 likes. Hey. Thank you guys, thank you so much. Alright, just a couple more seconds and we'll begin. Alright, I know you guys have waited a while. You know, my streaming software was giving me some headaches again. Thankfully, I was able to resolve it within 15 minutes, as I've said in the chat room here. So that's good. Alright, so again, let's begin with BITO or BITO, right? This is the Pro Shares Bitcoin ETF. Now, as you guys may see here and clearly observe, BITO looks completely different to Bitcoin itself. Why is that? Well, first of all, BITO has an amazing dividend that they give out nearly every single month, almost every single month. Okay, and if you take a look here, back in well, last year, right, there were some dividends that came in on the same month, right, in the same month, and these dividends have actually increased greatly in 2024, and so this is putting some downward pressure on the overall share price, right? Because we're seeing, well, whenever we see a dividend payout, we see the share price moving down, right? That's basically from a company standpoint, right? If you're looking at a company, not BITO here, that'll be slightly taken as a net negative sentiment, right? Whenever the company is literally giving, quote unquote, free money to its investors, right? To its long-term or just any investors that have been invested into their company, and they have bought their equity, their shares, during the a lot of time of when you need to be in to receive that said dividend. And so usually that is taken as a slight negative. It's not really negative, but it's a little bit negative on the day of when the dividend is paid out. So that's something that you guys should always remember. But if you translate over that to well, if you do really truly translate that sort of negative sentiment towards BITO, it gets a little interesting here, because we have so many dividends that have been paid out since last year, beginning last year, right? And so this is putting a lot of downward pressure on BITO, and it's not really looking too good compared to Bitcoin, right? So if I take a look at, okay, so let's use Coinbase here, right? Look at this. Look at the deviation of BITO to Bitcoin itself. All right, so this one is not following Bitcoin at all, obviously. Okay, and Bitcoin has just broken out of bull flag. Yes, there are some similarities to this, but you know, judging by this entire run up just in this year alone, right? So I believe somewhere around here, right? So Bitcoin is somewhat, this is not really accurate here, but Bitcoin is up 107% in just this year alone, and compared to BITO here, that's very, very large, right? There's a huge divergence because BITO is only up 10.41% on the year. So there's clearly that divergence due to the fact that this name has been giving us so many dividends in this entire year and last year, and that's actually when it began. So why did we choose this name, right? Why did we choose this name to be kind of exposed to Bitcoin, right? Well, first of all, BITO has been making a very, very good technical case for us here for the past couple of months. So if you take a look here from August lows to around early last week, or even on the last week of October, we had this very constructive, tight price action, right? Or I guess I could say it's tightening here, right? With lower highs and now higher lows that began in early September, at the September lows. So this has allowed the price to give us this nice descending resistance trend line. Right now, let me see if my oh, okay. I think we're good here. Never mind. So I thought my mic was not working here, but it's working smoothly, hopefully. Okay. So based on this constructive price action that where we're seeing this very good sideways consolidation, we knew that we had to be involved. So we first got involved with BITO using equity, right? So let me actually go into my long-term investments here. Oh, the music is ramping up. Here comes the drop. So BITO, I first called out back in, let's see, if I can go all the way back, yeah, so for BITO, I initially alerted it back in, well, we first had an eye on it back in August, and then officially around August, mid-August, we got an entry point around 17 bucks. So my personal, let me actually go into my account now. My personal entry point for equity, specifically equity, okay, is at $17.18. All right, this is a very, very good average cost here, to be honest, from my opinion. All right, so let me just do this. So we're up over 41%. All right, I mean, that's really good on just equity alone, and that's only from what is it? From September, right? From September to now, that's a pretty good gain. And I even added back in early October as well, since I did mention in the official private CFO Discord as well that it might be a good time to add again, right? And I even mentioned that there could be a potential divergence occurring in the crypto markets compared to the overall equity markets, and I explained why during one of the weeks in early October in the CFO Swing Watch report. And so again, if you guys want to become a reader, just DM me on Instagram. Again, DM me on Instagram at ChartsFocus1, right? Now, for BITO, I was looking at this $20 target for a simple breakout over this descending resistance trend line, and we got that in late October, okay? And let me see here. Let me make sure that I'm following my messages here correctly, right? And we're able to see that nice big pump in late October, and ultimately, what we saw was a pretty good pump from the overall election results last week, right? Last Tuesday. And this ultimately allowed us to have a very nice big move up higher, a very nice gap up in between this week and last week. And ultimately, let me see here. And ultimately here, I believe it was last, yeah. So last week on October 31st on Halloween, right? During Halloween, right? I alerted specifically this position trade, okay? The 23 strike call contract that expires on March 21st, 2025, and I bought it at $1.02 per contract. And the reason why I did that is that, well, first of all, we're already in equity, right? And I want to get more exposure through leverage through option contracts. And again, if you guys didn't know, option contracts is a leveraged type of trading above equity trading. And then even above option contracts is future contracts, all right? Futures trading. If you guys didn't know that, well, there it is. There's that hierarchy: equity, options, futures. And the higher you go, the more leveraged you get and the more riskier you get with your trading. So with the current equity on BITO working out very, very well, we knew that we had to get some sort of option contracts to give us a little bit more leverage, a little bit more edge into this trade here, and literally try to get more profits as the underlying share price continued to work in our favor. Hopefully that makes sense. So for BITO, I took out everything today, right? I took out everything today. And the reason being is that, well, I feel like we're seeing some sort of a euphoric high now that is currently being placed here since Bitcoin has hit nearly $90,000, the next major whole number level or the next 10,000 number. And so I knew that I had to take some profits, at least my leveraged position of option contracts, since again, my option contracts are deep in the money now at this point, and I had to get out for specifically 150% since October 31st. So within a little over 2 weeks, I was able to gain 150%, and that is what you call leverage. Right? We want to get a little bit more edge into this swing position, not just simply from equity positions, but from option contracts. And that's the reason why we got this option contract and this position trade. Well, for me, it's now a swing position since I did officially close BITO here using those 23 strike call contracts that expire on March, March 15th, 2025, I think. Okay, March 21st, excuse me, right? So this is something that I think you guys should continue to watch out for, because again, I don't think Bitcoin is done running. However, I would strongly encourage everyone to not use options here at this point. You're already too late. All right, I would say this is a bit late if you're trying to get an option contract here. You're going to be kicked to the curb with IV, right? And also, you're going to be kicked to the curb when we see the eventual consolidation that we should be seeing in Bitcoin. Okay? Because again, we have hit 90,000 today. And we should be seeing some sort of a pullback and at least retest maybe around 80,000. Maybe retest the previous breakout resistance level around $72,500, right? $72,500. But again, whatever happens here, we need to see some sort of consolidation. And I do not want you guys to be trapped by grabbing option contracts on BITO during these highs after a 40% run up from my initial entry point with my equity, and also after a 150% run on my option contracts. So for BITO here, if you guys want to get involved with Bitcoin, take a look at, IBIT, right? These things that actually track Bitcoin itself, or even HODL. Okay, I believe they all have options now. Oh, oops. Where is it here? There it is. Right, HODL, right? Amazing run up. Okay, I think I have even more here. Yeah, IBIT. I can't believe I forgot about this one. Okay, IBIT. Or actually, did I just do this one? I did. I think I'm going crazy. So IBIT, okay, BITO, HODL, they're all the same except for BITO because they give you so many dividends here, right? The dividends is really quite literally weighing down the share price. But after receiving these 2 dividends so far, I'm pretty glad that I have the equity position, and I'm most likely going to hold the rest of my equity position into the end of this year, as we should continue to see Bitcoin running up higher and higher, and ultimately to that $100,000 whole number level that everyone and their mother and their grandmothers are looking at. Okay, so again, congratulations to any of my readers and private members who are currently watching now, who also got this BITO equity position back in September, mid to late September, whenever you guys decide to average down or average in. And also to the people who joined into my BITO option contracts, the leveraged position, back in October 31st. So literally on Halloween. Okay, so I'm gonna always remember this. On October 31st, I was able to grab that BITO position for a complete return, a total return of 150% in a little over 2.5 weeks. It's gonna be one of the big trades for 2024, right? It's not quite yet near the biggest swing trade that I've had this year, which was on IWM. It was a 410% return in a couple of trading days. So, or actually a couple of trading weeks. Okay, I think it was like 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks. But anyways, if you guys haven't been following me, you guys should know, well, you guys wouldn't know what I'm talking about. So make sure you guys go back to my previous videos on this channel to see what I mean about IWM. Okay, I talk a lot about IWM and that specific 410% returning swing trade. Okay, I'm pretty proud about that one. I think the next one was VLO earlier this year, which was like over 200%. But anyways, so now, is BITO done running though? Right? Is BITO done running? Not really, right? Again, we need to see some consolidation because Bitcoin itself needs to see that similar consolidation. And so now let me segue into Bitcoin itself. Okay, so Bitcoin from a 2-hour time frame, a lot of bullish tension that's still apparent here. I mean, just take a look at the intraday time frames, right? We're seeing very textbook higher highs and higher lows. It's not something that you would see during a downtrend or a particular complete reversal to the downside. But again, we have reached a pretty large target. The next 10,000, again, the next 10,000 value here for Bitcoin, which is at $90,000. Yes, we already reached $80,000, but we zipped past it as if it was nothing, or as if there were no sellers right over $80,000 ready to hit that sell button, and instead we just continue to rocket up higher with even more volume and more bullish momentum and sentiment. And so once we hit 90,000, that's when I knew things are about to be a little bit too frothy here, and we're about to see some sort of euphoric high at 90,000. So I wouldn't be surprised if we begin or to see and observe an actual momentum bull flag forming here. Now, I don't know how much we'll pull back. Okay, I'm not a genius. I'm not a, I don't see the future, right? But just based, well, I'm not a crypto genius, but at the very least, we can at least see a retest of around $82,000 and possibly continue to have a very volatile consolidation here. Maybe form a very nice descending bull pennant, or at the minimum, a Momo bull flag, right? Momentum filled bull flag, right? Again, I don't care if we make a nice textbook bull flag with 2 flat trend lines as the resistance and support of that bull flag or a bull pennant, which I've drawn for you guys here. But regardless of what chart pattern that we form on any of the intraday hourly time frames, which again will be noticeable on the daily time frame as well, as long as we're able to pull back in a very constructive manner where we don't see some really hard selling, we should be able to see a retest of $82,000, which will also give us a retest of this 2-hour 50 SMA, this dark blue line, and eventually on the daily time frame, we should at least use $80,000, this whole number level, as a good level of support, an actual floor in this new uptrend. Okay, and so again, I want to see 82,000 being held, excuse me, $82,000 being held first. But if we do decide to break below 82,000, maybe just peak a little bit below it, I wouldn't mind if we retest $80,000 as a definite level of support, right? A significant level of new support at this new whole number level. And that should bring a complete paradigm shift in the entire sentiment as well, that Bitcoin should be staying over $80,000 from this point forward. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, I see you guys' your reactions there. Okay, so again, just to summarize, I'm not bearish on Bitcoin. I'm not bearish on BITO. I don't think the entire move is done on BITO. But then again, if you guys want to get BITO right now, I would say it's a little bit too late, especially on the daily time frame here as well, from a technical perspective. And again, purely from the technical angle here, the price is now above the daily 200 SMA, which is great if you have been in with us at this $17 support level, right? You do not want to try to buy at around this $200 level on, 200 SMA on the daily time frame, unless you're willing to have a very tight stop loss. And if you see a potential for Bitcoin to continue to run up higher from this point forward, which I just explained to you guys, I don't think it will. I think we'll just see some good, solid consolidation for the next couple of weeks, maybe into the end of this month, before we see another break higher into the end of this year. And that all relies on the fact that Bitcoin can consolidate, right? And I believe it can consolidate. Right? It all relies on Bitcoin to begin to consolidate from this point forward, and obviously stay over this $80,000 whole number level, retest $82,000 first before we start to see or begin to form a Momo bull flag, which can consist of either a bull flag, a textbook bull flag, or a textbook bull pennant. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, I think we lost connection there briefly, but hopefully my streaming software, after I literally spent so many hours, is not giving me any more trouble in the future. But I have my fingers crossed, guys. So just to make sure that you guys got or at least understood what I'm saying here. Instead of looking at, since I think BITO's done now, okay, if you want to get involved with Bitcoin but don't want to trade crypto itself, you have HODL as another option. Okay, if it'll load here. Well, you guys know what I'm saying. HODL or IBIT, right? Those are the two main crypto related, well, directly related crypto stocks that I would look to buy. All right, but not now, not yet. All right, because we need to see Bitcoin beginning to consolidate here. All right, so HODL and IBIT. All right. Okay, so hopefully this is a pretty quick breakdown, a very simple breakdown on Bitcoin, because again, there's not really too much to be, complicating. Well, there really isn't much to complicate over Bitcoin. It's very, very simple price action here. We reached the next major whole number level of 90,000. This level is kind of frothy here for bulls. We should be seeing a sentiment reset, a quote unquote sentiment reset, as in we should be seeing a lot more bulls now beginning to calm down on their buys and beginning to either hold or at least sell some of their positions that they've had since this entire let's see here, what is it, 7-month bull flag began. All right, so or I guess I could say almost 8-month bull flag, but 7.5, let's say 7.5-month bull flag. All right, so for us to be able to see a continued run up, we just need to hold over 80,000. And if you're going to pull back even more from these levels, these current levels, we need to at least retest $82,000. And the reason being is that, well, on the 2-hour time frame, and due to the nature of Bitcoin being very volatile, I wouldn't be surprised if you come back down to around $82,000 sometime in the next couple of weeks, or maybe by the end of this week. Who knows? Right, Bitcoin can move a lot in one single night or in one single trading session, as you guys should know by now. All right, so that is kind of my overall outlook on Bitcoin. Again, don't try to use BITO as a way to get exposed to Bitcoin using the stock market. Use HODL and IBIT. Again, the tickers are HODL and IBIT. All right, unless you want to buy up here and just wait to grab dividends, that's on you. You can clearly do that. I'm really not going to stop you guys from doing that, to be honest. All right, if you want to use BITO as a way to just get free, well, quote unquote, free money, as long as you're not too worried about your principal position moving lower or at a loss, you do you. You do you. But for us, we've been in since $17, so we're chilling here. That's a 40% run from $17 to where we're at now. I took a little bit of profit on my equity position, and I took 100% profit on my 150% run on my BITO option position, right? The option contract position. And the reason why I got that, again, is that, well, I just wanted more leverage based on the performance on my equity position on BITO, right? I just want to have more exposure, more leverage on my equity position that was doing extremely well since my entry point at $17. Okay, and again, if you guys just want to know the specific entry point for my equity position on BITO, it's at $17.18. So I averaged down slightly and I also averaged up slightly, but I was able to retain the $17 entry point. Hopefully that made sense, guys. All right, so that is my advice for you guys tonight. Hopefully this is going to be very helpful and informative, but most importantly, applicable for your own trading journeys, and obviously for anyone who is really just looking to get more exposure on the overall crypto markets, but without the volatility by using ticker symbols like HODL and IBIT. All right, well, that is it for me tonight. Okay, hopefully you guys have enjoyed this live stream. Hopefully it wasn't too late, but if you guys are watching this now, or excuse me, if you guys are watching this replay right now, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up down below. And if you guys have a question, please leave it in the comments down below as well. I'll see you guys on Thursday at the same time, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining in and taking your time to listen to me. And yeah, thank you so much for supporting me, and have a great rest of your night. I'll see you guys on Thursday.